However, you do gain 4 strength. So, just a suggestion. You can make your character.
Happy? Are you happy now?
If you want to be an absolute thick lad that just murders everything, by all means, start with 5 strength. I don't give a shit.
But I have to hit it first.
Exactly. So,
If I can't hit it, what's the point? I do want to be a thick boy.
Hit it.
Hey Jake, is there anything like looking at mine that you might point out as being?
You are a Ragabash?
Yes.
Five, 7, 3. No, not particularly. Nikki, you were wanting to be Lupus, right? A good thing also is, just kind of looking at what your natural form, the form you're most comfortable in, what its stat differences are. Like as a Lupus, your manipulation drops by 3. So, yeah, like with what you've done, you will still have a die in manipulation and things like that. Just things like that are good things to consider. I don't see anything particularly wrong with yours.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got... This is going to be an interesting party. An Uktena?
I'm tempted actually to go actually full manipulation. Now that you point that out, actually.
Not needed. I really don't think you would need to.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say charisma and appearance would both trump a full manipulation. Because remember, you weren't actually here for this, Nikki. Whenever I tell you to roll something, it will always be an attribute plus an ability. So it kind of works like that in Shadowrun, where, I'll tell you to roll, like logic plus, I don't know, computer.
Mm-hmm.
For this, it would be like, okay, roll a perception plus empathy. So you would, okay, I got 2 dice in perception, I got, say 3 dice in empathy, so you would get to roll 5 dice. So you really don't need necessarily manipulation to be at 5 if, the things that I'm going to be having you roll manipulation with also have like 1 or 2 points in them. Like, you kind of get it? Because, like, rolling 5 dice when you only need 1 die to roll up as a 6 or plus, it's not that big of a deal.
Fuck. I forgot. What page? Fuck. What page?
76 and 77. It is at...
Oh, the other thing.
Oh.
Fucking... What's it called?
The Metis stuff?
Yeah, Metis nonsense.
Metis... is 85 to 87.
85. The scrolling is real.
There's bookmarks.
I'm scrolling, I don't care. I don't need bookmarks. I'm too good for bookmarks.
Okay.
Pick relevant. Luke, were you wanting to get in on this? I see you lurking, boy.
I'm just listening in. I'm
just
doing
listening. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. I do appreciate that that post you put in there though. That's
no, the fuck.
That's a good picture.
Relevant.
Looks kind of like one of the NPCs I've got. Anyway, okay. So when everyone feels comfortable with their abilities, we can move on. Or if someone has like just a couple things left and still would be fine to move on, or not abilities, attributes. The thing at the top, the thing we've been doing.
I was like, shit, did I miss something?
No, when everyone is comfortable with their attributes or at a point where they understand it and we can move on, we'll just move on.
No claws.
The next the next segment, abilities, works exactly the same. It, instead of being 7, 5, and 3, is 13, 9, and 5. For those of you playing Lupus,
I'm
you
looking
need-
at the restricted skills.
yep, you need to go and read the Lupus section because there are skills you cannot take.
I am a wolf of science.
However, the most obvious one I'm going to mention, you cannot spend it now. You have to use your freebie points at the end, because you will get like 15 extra like starting XP to spend. Lupus characters do not inherently know how to speak any human language. You will have to buy at least 1 point in linguistics to be able to speak a human language, 2 points to read it. Something to keep in mind. You will be able to talk in the werewolf tongue, because there has to be a separate language that the wolf form and the Krynos form can actually speak. Because
Talk as a wolf.
yeah, because a wolf, a wolf cannot make human noises. Eventually, people can be skilled enough where they can change, only their vocal box so they can talk as a wolf. But in the beginning, you won't be able to do that. So,
I will.
Where was Lupus in the?
you're just asking for that silver piano.
Is the Lupus language just like woo speak?
No, it's not. And
Very
every time,
happy to meet you.
every time Alex makes that godforsaken sound, I'm shooting him one more time.
I thought you were gonna find me $350.
Hello?
The more of this speak that happens, the more I consider a silver-plated piano happening.
Listen, who plates the piano in silver?
People that want to kill werewolves.
This is Jake right now. Look at. So
What the fuck?
That is me. I will be this man. So anyway, abilities. The same thing. You can assign a 13, a 9, and a 5. So you can assign, 13 to talents, or 9 to talents, or 5 to talents.
so difficult.
And you gotta go
Hey, at
through.
least as a Lupus, I don't gotta worry about putting very much into knowledge.
Nope.
The difference.
I don't know shit.
The difference between brawl and melee. Melee is using a weapon, like even a improvised weapon. Like say Alex picks up a recliner and slaps a dude with it.
Aww.
Like he will probably do. That would be a melee roll, as opposed to if Alex just claws a guy, it would be a brawl roll.
What if I use a guy to hit another guy?
Technically, still counts
that
as a
brawl?
melee.
Or melee?
Just pick up a random pedestrian and throw it at someone.
Technically, still would count as a melee.
Are there rules for grappling?
Yes, there are.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
now is that brawl?
Yes, it is.
Alright, well, brawl it is. 5 points.
Think of brawl as any kind of attack you make with your physical body, and melee, any kind of attack you make with hitting something with something that isn't inherently part of you. What that
is,
be, pedestrian or car.
Or telephone pole.
Or telephone
fucking...
Yes.
Who
Here,
cares?
Nikki. I made this convenient reference so I don't forget.
My end game is hitting somebody with the Statue of Liberty.
Oh my god.
Thank you. It's actually kind of useful.
Yeah.
Nikki and Anku, you are our 2 Lupus, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then Quinn and Danielle are our Hamid,
Yep.
and Alex is our Metis. Okay.
Ah.
Blah. Yeah.
So one thing I was wondering about was Um,
Dumb wolfies.
what is enigmas under knowledge?
Enigmas? Oh, enigmas under knowledge is
Something you don't understand.
well,
Will be
duh.
will
But
we be encountering
enigmas,
riddles?
like an enigma would be like something particularly against a known norm. And that can be anything from like supernatural, like, yeah, he was a vampire, but what the hell was that? Or it can also be something like maybe recognizing something as not being the norm. Maybe like if someone does something and it doesn't seem particularly comfortable for the situation for that person to do, an enigmas plus maybe perception would be like, would that be something, he would be expected to do, or that would be normal for him to do, or is he acting weird? It can be anything on that spectrum, and that's kind of the nice part about the way that the dice rolling in this game works, is that there are all kinds of arguments for why a roll will be what a roll will be. There are a lot of different ways you can change it. The other thing I will mention, anything, attribute, or ability that you have 4 or more ranks in, you can have a specialty. In game terms, the dice system works very much like Shadowrun, where we have lots of dice and successes based off a target number. If you have a specialty in something, because this game uses d10s, if you roll your specialty and you roll a 10, they explode, and you get to roll them again to try to get another success. So, like looking at Nikki, you have a 4 in manipulation. That would be a specialty. So you can pick something in particular that you are good at manipulating. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you can manipulate a conversation, or maybe you can outright manipulate someone's wishes, or you can think of all kinds of stuff. It's a lot easier to think about specialties when it comes to abilities as opposed to attributes, because like dexterity, if you've got 4 in dex, your specialty could be like, I don't know, like parkour, or it could be something like in general just like quick reflexes.
And like, where would I write that down?
Is there no good where to do that on these sheets? Shit. Maybe there's not.
I don't understand.
I would write it down in a notes section somewhere on the sheet until I figure out how to do it. There should be a way to open them up. Maybe there's not. If there's not, I would just keep track of your specialties in notes, which is down by the forms section.
Yeah, I'm already talking that.
So I noticed this primal urge ability.
Primal urge is animal instinct. It is also what you roll when you change forms. So to change from one form to another, it will be a stamina plus primal urge. And every success lets you move up or down the spectrum of forms. So if you're in Lupus and you get 1 success, you can change into Hispo. If you get 2 successes, Krynos. If you get 3 successes, Glabro. 4, you can go all the way to Hamid. Or you can just spend a point of rage and jump to whatever form you want.
Alex has found a way to manipulate the system. Anyways.
I'm sorry, Jake. might say the jokes out loud. You'll hit me with the piano.
I will. So you know what? If you gotta let it out and you gotta move it, that's fine. It keeps a piano off of you.
So, what's the difference between occult and rituals?
Occult is anything supernatural, like knowledge, anything spooky. Rituals are actually doing like what's a good example? Who's our Philodox? Was that Danny?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
so.
Yep.
Well, whatever. I'll still use her as an example. As a Philodox, she would be responsible for rituals of like punishment or accord. So like if someone does something bad, Danny can be like, "No, we're shunning you for a week. Get the fuck out," or something like that. So to complete that ritual, she would make a ritual plus whatever other stat the ritual asks for. As a Ragabash, ritual is not going to be very important for you. It's mainly going to be a big deal for Galliard, Theurge, and Philodox.
Gotcha.
Particularly Theurge and Philodox.
Expression.
So,
What does expression do?
what it says in the title, how either well you are at concealing a particular expression or how well you are at expressing something. Maybe you want to...
How in control you are of your expressions.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I could make you roll expression for something that's maybe I need to be particularly polite, or expression could be like no, like I really mean this wholeheartedly. Like I'm sorry. That might be.
Self-insert expression is 0.
That's fine.
What is subterfuge?
Subterfuge is bluff, lie, doing. Subterfuge is good for you as a Ragabash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Subterfuge is being cheeky and not getting caught.
Gotcha. And what is
You
animalkin?
might.
Animalkin is outright how well you deal with animals. It's like animal handling.
Oh, okay.
Animal handling. I don't see how that's useful.
Like in general, prey animals like maybe horses or cattle. They're not gonna like you guys anymore after you undergo your first change. They're gonna be fucking scared shitless of you because you are a predator now, whether you know it or not.
I know lots. Wait, no, I don't. My intelligence is 1. Help.
Good luck.
You'll do great, champ.
You're gonna go far, kid.
Oh, Lord.
What's 9 plus 10?
What if I know?
21?
21.
Yeah. So again, 9, 5, and 13 are the packages for abilities. If
Wait,
you
9
forget.
5?
Yeah. 5, 9, 13.
Politics.
How useful is survival as a Lupus? Would you want that really high, particularly?
It would be high.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially because as Lupus, it's pretty much a default. You're going to put your 5 into knowledge because you can't use half of that fucking category anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I
Yeah.
beg to differ.
But I'm.
Well, okay. I guess that can be argued about as well. The same thing that we talked about with Gnosis, Rage, and Willpower, you guys will have a chance. Anything on this sheet that we go through, you guys do have a chance at the end of character creation to increase.
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much, you get like 15 experience points at the end of character creation to level up how you would normally in the game, just at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like for free. They're just like, here, like do all this basic stuff and then here's just 15 extra XP, spend it how you would normally while leveling up to improve your character more. So, if you're worried about abilities and things like that, it's not a big deal. Like you'll be able to add more there if you want.
Gotcha.
So does anybody want to be like quick, just no big deal, just a quick question. Does anybody want like real high leadership or anything?
I was going for kind of high leadership.
Anybody
I
want to
haven't
be
put
like
shit in leadership.
That's going to be
Anybody
very
want-
interesting, Nikki, because as a Ragabash, you kind of inherently get shoved into the Omega role. Wolf packs do operate with Alpha, leader, Beta is second. Deltas are everyone else, and then Omegas are usually towards the bottom, but Omegas are... They're not towards the bottom because they're like nobody wants them around. They're towards the bottom because they're like they explicitly want to be at the bottom because it's their job to relieve tension. And if everyone hates the guy at the bottom, you can just submit and not lose any honor over it because you're already at the bottom. That also being said, Nikki could very clearly, if he roleplays correctly, end up as your guys' alpha. So, it'll
All
just
it
kind of...
takes is a few millimeters of bone. Oh.
Pretty much. You know, and choices for how you guys end up picking a leader could be as easy as someone just through roleplay starts to take on more of a leadership role. Or it could be that there needs to be some words or maybe some blood that flies before the decision is made. Wolves are not known to be particularly gentle when discussing matters of leadership, so it is something to consider.
so?
That's kind of wild that there's like a decided or like a decisive person in a leadership position. That's really rare for an RPG.
Yeah, like, and it's not like their word is law, because it's never like that, even in a real wolf pack. But they're through like role playing and stuff like that, there will come a time once everyone is playing together that other NPCs will start to recognize one person as, okay, we should talk to them because they're more likely to get all 5 of them moving.
Yeah, they will defer to you as the leader.
As
not
the leader.
necessarily that you are the
Leader, but you're seen as being in a leadership position.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice like that. I like it quite a bit.
In this game, performance is
Performance. Performance is what performance
Performing.
always is.
song and dance,
It could be. As a
sexual performance.
Galliard, so like
Hey,
That's how you
Quinn.
take the alpha position.
Yeah, so like Quinn being a Galliard, you guys are seen as being like bards and kind of the storytellers and lore keepers for Guru Society. Your performance is probably going to be kind of up there, I'm not going to lie.
Well, shit, I should probably put some in there.
I'm assuming that drive is my ability to drive vehicles.
Yes, drive is, yeah, it is.
Not my drive. Like, my will to go on.
Yeah, it is. It is vroom vroom, not I can't go on, kill me.
Roll for round 2, yo. I have spent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so just gonna meta really fast. Quick question:
Go ahead. That's what
When
this
you're
session's
leveling
for.
when you're leveling up and doing stuff,
Mhm.
does it take more points the higher that stat already is?
After character creation, yes.
All right, so I'm just gonna put a bunch of points into individual stats.
So,
Shove all my points into one stat.
free.
That's a fair point.
Yeah,
wait, what?
the freebie points. So the 15 points that I keep talking about that we get at the end, they have specific costs that are just used for the freebie points. because they're seen as not like actual XP because they don't hold over. If you don't use all 15 of them, you don't get to hoard them. They go away once the characters are made. But like once XP actually starts getting accumulated, then yeah, it'll be like, okay, like 3 times the new value of the stat, or 2 times the new value of the stat, that kind of thing.
So,
It's different depending on what you want to level up.
I have a lot of specialties.
Do you? Brawl? Yeah.
Oh,
Perception?
I'm
Yeah.
about to take points out of other things, and I'm gonna have more.
Holy shit, Alex. 5 leadership?
Listen, I have a
What?
plan.
Damn!
He's just going full force with that.
My leadership specialty is combat tactics.
So, I am going to bring this up because you are a Metis. You need to think about how you're going to roleplay that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I'm
Because-
all my life.
Damn, have like the outcast leader.
Yeah,
I won't.
it like you. This is gonna be if you want. I'm not saying don't do it. I think it's great. If someone really wants to drive for a leadership role in this group, I think that's fantastic. But I will warn you, if you do end up becoming the like alpha of the pack, that's fine. But what is that going to purvey to other groups when the leader of this group of werewolves shows up and he's Metis? What does that convey? What does that convey to other people? And that's
They're
fine.
gonna know I'm Metis then.
They'll know.
Like,
They'll know.
like
They'll-
fucking.
they'll know me
Lucy
by my
Liu
name.
from
It'll de-
Kill Bill.
It'll depend on what you end up choosing as your deformity or condition, but they'll know. Like, if you pick mute, they're gonna figure that out pretty quickly. Yeah, they're gonna
Probably
figure
not.
that out pretty quickly. No claws.
Paranoid
It's
schizophrenic.
gonna be
No,
pretty
Claus
obvious.
is not fucking happening.
How does a wolf do like the tactical SWAT gestures?
In Krynos, you still have humanoid hands.
Have you seen Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Yeah.
You remember the wolf?
That's the one thing he knows. Hold.
So, I'm just putting that out there, as something to think about. Not necessarily that it's a good or bad thing. It will just be a certain dynamic that the game has.
It'll be a thing.
Madness.
Yeah, that's one too. You can outright just come out insane. That
Please. I want to be the mad leader of a pack.
Please no.
I'm gonna be like fucking. We're gonna be like the brave companions.
Just asking for like a coup, like fuck, just
Coup d'etat.
overthrow him.
If you can, little bitch boy. Let's see how your loot does against my fists.
okay, are we done with abilities, or are we at a point where people would be comfortable moving on?
Prepare the cheese.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay, are we good, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing that we're going to go into is going to be a few things. I would say it's like merits and flaws, except this game also has a merits and flaws system, so it's not. These are going to be the things that define your character's life before and after you turned. And they're also going to be the particular supernatural abilities you're going to gain after the change and after you're taught these gifts. In the book, gifts start on page 113. And you get one gift from your breed, one gift from your tribe, and one gift from your auspice. These gifts inherently in our first session of play, and probably slowly as we play, will not be available to you immediately. And that is because the way that we're starting the campaign is going to be everyone's first change. So you're a brand new werewolf, so you haven't been taught these yet. You will get them by the time we start full blown, but for like the prologue kind of section here, you'll get these gradually. So the first time we are in the prologue, it'll probably be like a month after you've changed, and then the next time we do it might be a year after you've changed, or 2 years after you've changed. Because remember, Hamid characters, your first change happens at puberty. So the first time we play, everyone's going to be like 14 or 15, like right in there.
Shit.
Yeah. So before we do backgrounds, I'm going to say we should do gifts first.
Okay.
Because they are, in general, going to be easier.
Okay.
I believe in the auspices section on Roll20, I did actually put what gifts come as options.
You did.
You put the starting gifts for all three.
Yeah, for...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are the options. If you want to look at them, and I highly suggest you do, like I said, 113, 114 is where they start. It starts with breed gifts. There'll be a Hamid section, and it'll explain what each gift does for you, and then how it works in the game system. Then it goes on to Metis, then it goes on to Lupus. After that, it starts on auspices, and then after it runs through all 5 auspices, it goes on to the tribes. So this is going to be the section where it kind of starts to take a little bit more time, because there start to be a few options. You usually have 2 or 3 options per breed, auspice, and tribe. So you'll have a few decisions to make here.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty easy. I was really fast. I got this.
And some of them will overlap, correct?
Hold on. You're real robot-y for me. Try one more time.
Some of them have overlap.
Yes, some of them do have overlap. So just because you've got what's one of them? Red Talons and Ragabash both get Scent of Running Water. So if you are a Red Talon Ragabash and you choose that one for your Ragabash gift, it's a pretty easy decision when you get to the Red Talon gift, because you already have one of the options.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So there may be some overlap based on the class and tribe that you picked. Or auspice and tribe. I should really get into the habit of calling it auspice, because we're not playing with classes.
I mean, I'm just probably going to end up calling it class, because...
It will be, but while we're, in session, none of the other NPCs are probably going to be like, "What's your class, boy?" No, they're going to say they're going to ask you what your auspice is. I just need to get into the habit of doing that.
We can get one gift from each category? Or...
Yes, one from each. So at the end, you will have 3 gifts. You will have a gift from your breed, a gift from your auspice, and a gift from your tribe.
Oh, cool.
If you want just the general overlook of options, it will also show on page 76, underneath the auspice, tribe, and breed, it actually does list beginning gifts, and it will tell you the options. The descriptions are on page 133 and on. So if you start to see doubles, you can obviously just look and be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, this also has here." So yeah.
Oh man, Razor Claws or Falling Touch.
If there's anything inherently that someone doesn't understand what it is as far as like the setting goes. Like, I don't understand what this word means to me, being a character, bring it up. I will tell you. I can definitely help with that. Like I said, we're all new. You guys aren't going to know necessarily what a cairn is or what a sept is or things like that. And that will come about naturally as we play and your characters learn what those things are. I'm going to reconnect to Discord. Everyone is going real robot-y for me.
Oh. All right.
Okay, I'm back. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
This is a test.
That is
That's
much
kind of
better.
Nobody would say anything.
It's like
Hello?
Hello? Please!
there's falling touch, which is like a thing that I can use, but can I just like falling touch allows me to send my foes sprawling with a touch, and it's like some dex rolls and some medicine rolls and some whatever against their rolls. But can I just like otherwise try to throw people to send them prone? Can I?
Yeah.
Not.
You can do it normally without using the gift. Yeah, 100%. Like, one of the gifts for Lupus is Leap of the Kangaroo, which is you make a ridiculously large jump, either upwards or forward. You can jump normally without using Leap of the Kangaroo. It's perfectly fine. And the reason for that is that some of the gifts actually have a cost. Some of the gifts will be like, spend a point of willpower, and this just happens. Or, spend a point of gnosis, and this just happens. And then some of them are just inherent, like scent of running water. You don't have a discernible scent that others can pick up. Ever. So, yeah.
Hey, is it possible that I could make a character, even though I'm super late to this?
Sure, why not?
I don't want to make I don't want to do a bunch of homogeneous keys right now.
That's perfectly fine. I can shoot you the link right now. We had 6, but Matthias had to leave because, like our time jump sends us back. His seasons are reversed, so he goes forward. So the 4-hour gap is now like a 7-hour gap.
Oh, yeah, how's it?
Oh,
And he was like, yeah, I want to play, I just can't.
Damn, fucked up.
damn! I never even considered that. Jesus.
Yeah, so we were going to have 6, but Matthias had to go, so...
I don't know if I'll play every time, but
That's fine.
this is but
What is sense
I
worm?
usually make a
Yeah. I was gonna say, what is sense wyvern?
What
Okay,
is sense worm and why is it useful?
Wyrm.
the Wyrm, and I was kind of trying as hard as I could to avoid doing this discussion.
It's the enemy. It cursed me.
Yeah.
It is the great enemy, yes.
Yeah.
The Wyrm, there are 3 kind of like primordial forces in World of Darkness. There's the Wild, the Wyrm,
Fuck that guy.
and the Weaver. The Wild is everything like raw energy and nature. The Weaver is responsible for organizing energy. So, like, the Wild might have created rock and all of the elements and minerals that make rocks, but the Weaver is the thing that organizes that into... a good example would be like carbon. Like, the Wild would make carbon, but the Weaver would be the one that would organize it to make a diamond. The Weaver structures. The Wyrm was the thing
Destroys.
that recycled all of the spent energy. So, like, when an animal would die, the Wyrm is responsible for, the decomposition and things. The Wyrm has gone batshit insane and has started doing things more like just outright destruction and, like, pollution and, like, cutting down all the rainforests and things like that. Like, that is the embodiment of the Wyrm. That
The worm went full Deathwing. Is that what you're telling me?
Kinda, yeah, actually. That's a good way to think about it for anyone that has played WoW. It it kind of, the worm has gone mad and kind of lost its purpose and just turned into a destruction machine. I should make Luke a character sheet.
I don't like the
I
worm.
just realized why he's sitting around.
I'm reading stuff, so like.
Okay, I will still get this set up for you.
Okay.
Everyone who left is gonna be like, "Yo, by the way, Luke's here now."
Yeah.
The only
I'll be,
person that's left is Danielle, and
Oh, okay.
she'll find out.
Yeah.
In players' journals
Perception plus occult.
can be edited.
I
and
literally don't know if I went
controlled
sense Wyrm or balance. Both seem good.
I took sense worm if you're all right with leaving that to me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna choose that other one then. Thanks.
Persuasion or smell?
I've got spirit
save.
speech
Okay, Luke, you
Sense
should have a
worm.
sheet for you now. It should have popped up in characters.
and
Well, that's when
heightened
it balanced.
senses.
I don't
I'm
know
gonna go.
when you showed up and started to lurk, and how much you heard of the early introduction, but most of the like auspice, breeds, and tribe stuff is all in creation
Yeah.
info.
That's what I was
So-
looking at.
What?
Luke's actually been here quite a while.
So there's
Yeah.
like your moon sign, which is your auspice,
Yeah,
and then there's like your breed, which is like basically how you're socialized as a werewolf. Like if you're primarily human or primarily wolf or primarily
it's
big fucking thing.
it's that, and also just outright what your starting species was.
Okay, right.
So yeah, like
and then tribes.
tribes
Let's deal with tribes.
are groups of werewolf. Tribe in the most literal sense. Groups
So
of
everybody picks one of those.
Yeah, tribes, I don't care if people double up on tribe at all. It does not faze me. Even if two of you get into a conversation and you think that maybe your characters knew each other before they even both turned, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that either. The only thing I was limiting was auspice, but now that we have 6 people, go ahead and pick whatever the fuck you want, Luke, because we've got one each, so...
Okay.
With the freebie points,
Mm-hmm.
is that a 1-for-1 thing, or is there a chart?
There is a chart on page 77.
Okay.
Even gifts. You will be able to buy gifts with freebie points at the end if you want
Ooh.
another gift. The same thing with background. And we'll get to background after gift because there's probably going to be a lot more things in background that I have to actually explain because it has to do with like the setting. And that'll just show up. Like, no one is going to know what kinfolk are until I actually explain what kinfolk are. So, it's fine.
I was assuming it was Ken. But, okay.
Yeah,
I know what kindred are.
yeah, but like explicitly what having kinfolk will mean for your character.
Yeah.
As far as
Like
the setting
context.
is concerned.
If anyone is concerned or worried, you don't want kindred.
I like
It's a
Kindred.
Garrett.
Kindred's a pretty cool hero. And
Yeah, there's a lot of... If there's pronunciation that you're unsure how to do it, assume it's French.
No.
Oh, God.
So, like, Galliard, I say Galliard
Galliard.
because that's natural for me. The actual proper pronunciation of that word is Gaillard, because it's French,
Filthy Frenchman.
which is... I can't do
Gotta
it.
get that in.
So you're telling me I should drag
You just
Justin
did
here?
it.
Yeah, I can't do it naturally, like, without thinking about it. Like, I can say Gaillard, but, like, when I'm talking all the time, I'll be like, yeah, he's an Irish Galliard. That would be what I would say, not he's an Irish Gaillard. That, nah, yeah. So,
I had to do it. Sir.
I say Guru. It would actually probably be more as what the French word for werewolf is, which is loup grau. So it would probably be grau. But, as long as everyone understands or can figure out what the word is, it's not really a big deal what anyone says. If you want to say Gaillard, say Gaillard. I'll know what you mean.
Gaylord.
Alright, what was it? Does it still say I'm playing Fallout 76? What the fuck? I've had that game closed for
Hours,
5 hours.
right?
It's not in my programs. Where is it?
How's everyone doing on their gifts? Quinn, how are you doing? You are the newest player here. How are...
Doing alright. I do believe I chose the 3 I got.
I chose my gifts and they're all good.
Jam
technology.
technology. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Call elemental. Heart of Fury. Okay. In the gift section, I would go through and maybe write down what it does and maybe what it says in the system section. So like, jam technology. If there is a certain thing you have to do to activate the gift, I would probably write that down. Because the only
Right.
place to write down that information is in that gifts box.
All right.
That text box can get larger. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you can grow it or shrink it however you need to.
Oh, well, cool.
So, yeah.
All right. Could you tell me a little bit about
Fucking art is terrifying.
Philodox and Gaiard? Like,
Okay.
what's different about them?
So, Gaiard are... They are... Both of them fill the responsibility of lore keeper.
Okay.
Philodox, they interpret what's called the litany, and that is what Werewolf Society uses for a set of laws. So, like, one of the first tenets of the litany is Guru shall not mate with other Guru. Because then Metis happened, and yeah, you heard about that.
Well, what's wrong
So-
with Metis, huh?
The role of Philodox is more of, like, the judge and kind of the neutral party in the tribe, or in the pack. Tribe too, but pack. So if, say, Alex and Nikki are getting into an argument over what you guys should do next,
So Philodox mediates.
the Philodox would be like, okay, hold on, let's look at the benefits and drawbacks of both of these options.
Okay.
Alex and Nikki are getting
The
into an argument.
Gaiard
Kill Nikki.
is like,
He'll remember that.
Alex ripped that monster's head off and threw it at another monster and killed it. That's something particularly badass. I need to put this into song so people hear about it.
Okay.
They're the ones that are also kind of responsible for being the person in the pack that anyone else in the pack can turn to for help. If they're
Okay.
feeling down,
Okay,
if
that's what I
they're...
want.
anything like that.
Okay.
It would be way more common for there to be 2 Galliards in a party than there would be for 2 Philodox.
Got it.
But, like I said, fuck it, whatever. It doesn't matter.
mean-
We've got 6.
No, that works better with my concept. I figured it.
Okay.
Well, come be a war boy. It's fun.
No, my concept is wholesome Canadian.
Oof, we fighting though.
That.
We fighty
Alright.
boys. We really
No, I
do.
know, but I'm wholesome.
Have you
Oh.
picked
I'm a homie.
your Hamid?
Yeah.
If you're playing wholesome, I would suggest Children of Gaia. Just,
For tribe?
or at least
Go
looking
full
at
hippie.
Children of Gaia.
Okay. I haven't looked at tribes yet. Oh, that looks... Wow.
Yeah.
What me and
Children of
Nikki
Gaia
were
is the one with the wolf running with the unicorn.
Yeah. In the flowers.
Oh my god.
But honestly, pick whoever the fuck you want. All of them have a place. If you're going for wholesome, I would suggest, not that you can because you're playing Hamid, but stay away from Red Talons.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
they're
makes sense.
they're Lupus only anyway, so you don't have to worry about that.
Unwholesomeness is like my thing.
How's
Holy
that?
shit, they're the SJW tribe. This is great.
Yeah. Danny was looking at them for a little bit, and then she was like, nah, I can't.
No, dude, no,
You
look at
can
the
play...
The Soviet wolves.
Yeah. You
Did
can...
somebody say Soviet, my friend?
Yeah. They get us...
Who were the Soviet wolves again?
Huh?
Who were they again?
The Soviet wolves?
Yeah.
Shadow Lords.
Right, yeah.
To an extent, Silver Fangs, and also to an extent, Get Fenris. How is everyone feeling about gifts? Are we, besides Luke, obviously you're behind, but is
Probably.
everyone that was on gifts done? Do you have 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3. I'm just filling in like the.
Okay, I
Descriptions
highly
and stuff.
suggest writing in at least some kind of description for what the gift does,
Done.
or writing in what you have to roll to activate the gift. That way you don't have to go back and look in the book, because it can be a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie.
It's too much work.
If you don't
Not
want to
like
write
this.
out everything, maybe write the page number next to where the gift is.
I wanted to copy and paste it, but I couldn't from the PDF. So
Yeah,
I
that was disappointing.
Yeah, I know. I need to look for another PDF, but I literally found like a collection at this one spot, so I just pulled everything over. It just made my life
I did
easier.
actually notice that part. Description.
Yeah, that's how we went from having no werewolf books to having first edition, second edition, and 20th anniversary over the course of one night. So,
Yeah, I noticed we got a lot.
yeah, it was lovely. It was really nice.
What
Which is
the
even
fuck?
better because I have most of these books in hard copy. It's just,
Oh, nice.
yeah, like I have the player's handbook in front of me on the desk right now. It's not a big deal, but
This is terrifying.
I've assigned all my freebie points. I have my gifts, my background.
damn, Anku. All right.
So I have 4 in rituals. I think also 2 in rites and 3 in fetish for backgrounds. So I think I have some rites to cover.
Yeah, we'll get there because more than just you will have rites and rituals.
I also have a 5 in occult. So
Yeah, anyone who's playing a Gayard, a Philodox, or a Theurge will have inherent rites and rituals, most likely, at least one. But anyone can. Okay, so if we're done with gifts, we'll move on to backgrounds.
But wait, hold
Actually,
on.
hang on. One
Human
second, I
face.
just realized I didn't
You
copy
retain
on
your
one thing.
human face in wolf and near wolf forms.
Okay, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, Metis deformities suck.
I just want sick horns, like the Metis in the picture.
That's an option. Horned is an option.
Okay, how does stats
Horny
work?
as fuck.
Okay, you've got the 3 categories under attributes: physical, social, mental.
Mhm.
You have 3 groups of skill points. You have 7, 5, and 3.
Okay.
You can assign a 7, a 5, and a 3 to each one,
Okay.
and you have that many skill points to bump up the dots.
Gotcha.
Dots represent number of dice. It'll be number
D10s,
of
right?
Yeah, it's d10s.
Perfect.
Abilities will work the same way. Except it'll be 13, 9, and 5.
Okay.
That information is on page 76 if you forget.
I think I get him. 7, 5.
3. Okay. I got to get to backgrounds. Okay. Everyone needs to go back to our lovely character creation info. Other than Luke, because he's not here yet. I believe for you Lupus characters, it is under breed and tribe. I don't think Lupus can take certain backgrounds, if I recall. I can't remember.
I didn't see anything.
Okay, then no. But you are restricted certain backgrounds based on your tribe.
Yes.
Jake, give me a note that I'm allowed to edit and put pictures in.
A note?
Yeah. Or
Okay.
whatever.
I can do
In the
that.
journal thing.
Just any old note.
Yeah, I just want to be able to put pictures in it.
Okay. Player's journal. Is this for everyone to see or just you?
Just me. I'm just going to use it to put my stuff in so I don't have to type. I'm really lazy.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just going to take
that's
screenshots
This
and
annoys me
shove them
so
in there.
much.
that's actually fair.
Oh, good. I can fix that.
Nice
Oh,
character
wonderful.
sheet.
That's
Wait, you're telling me you typed all of this out? All of these things you put in our journal, you typed these out?
yeah, everything.
You are nuts.
I've done I've been working on this for a while because I wanted it to be
I mean,
a learning experience for
yeah.
everyone. So
I mean, bravo.
I was pretty sure you
Roll20
found
makes
all
it
the
so
images
easy,
as
so you
well.
gotta do the
Because
prep.
these aren't
Yeah.
images from the book.
no, they're not. Yeah, I did. I also you guys can't see them. I have a folder for important places, a folder for other supernatural individuals, and just werewolf NPCs. All of them have a picture of a real person that will look like them, and all of them have a description of them and their tribe and auspice and what they do for you guys. There's work going into this. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and I finally was just like, you know what? It's time. So
It can editing be enabled on the other sheets so I can look at them. You have to have it on to be able to see.
yeah, I can do that.
Just
You want to see
curious.
my character sheet, buddy?
Yeah.
What for?
Okay.
Yeah, I am actually.
I do this. Don't be
Good thing
dicks,
I'm already-
guys. Stick on your own sheet.
It's okay, Jake. They're well mannered in my game. And
Well,
this has to be.
I'm,
Wait, are
I'm
you
in
saying
I'm
stick
in
to
that
your own
game as
sheet and
well.
don't look at others? Or are you saying don't fuck with others?
Don't
Those
fuck
are
with
two different
others.
things.
You can look at each other's sheets. I forgot that everyone has to have edit rights to look at the actual character sheets.
Yeah.
I'm snooping now.
Oh yeah, now we all gotta go snooping.
Now we all gotta go snooping. All right,
Ooh.
give me a second. Give me a
Take a
second.
look at that.
Let's go see how terrifying Alex's sheet is.
No, don't look at my
Alright.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to see those numbers.
Oh jeez.
This ought to be good.
They're just 4s and 5s.
Fuck.
What the fuck is this?
Who?
This is what I
I'm
do, and I
investigation.
do it good.
I was gonna fill out the rest with the points that I get at the end of character creation. Leave me alone.
Oh my god.
God. Alex is a murder machine. Yeah, he's in Krynos. Alex will have 9d10 for strength, and yeah, it's gonna be bad. That's the other thing about this this system. Combat is very short, and combat is very brutal.
Oh,
Youse.
A typical human being only has 3 wound levels.
Oh,
Get fucked, idiot.
Yeah.
That's why the investigation is so goddamn high.
I think I can inflict 3
Jesus
wounds
Christ,
with
man.
my pinky.
Yeah. So, starting
I
on
didn't know what else to put it.
Backgrounds, if we go to page 76, it will tell the specifications for how you do backgrounds. Like I said, that's why I have it at the top of the Roll20 sheet. 76, 77. This is the place to be. So we go down to advantages. You have 5 points to spend on backgrounds. It's 1 point per level. So say you want, I don't know, out of your 5 points, you spend 2 points on allies. You would look underneath allies, look at the 2 dots, and that's what it gives you. However, then you only have 3 dots for any of the other backgrounds that you want. So you can pick and choose. The only limitations are the ones specified by your tribe. Certain tribes do not get certain backgrounds. Like, a good example of that would be... also, I'm pretty sure there is some kind of restriction, like a Lupus character would not have resources.
The Silent Striders don't get past life or
Yeah.
resources.
And there's a reason for that your character would learn later on. It's in the lore, and if you end up getting curious about it, I will explain it to you, but I'm not going into that right now.
Only every...
You can also, once we get to the point out of the prologue, I'll just be like, yeah, go ahead and read your tribe book if you want. Anyway. Backgrounds.
No context.
The specific things I can think of that are strange rites are rights are like ritual things. There's rights can either be something as complex as actually casting a spell and doing a ritual, or a rite can be something as formal as a Philodox giving a formal apology on behalf of the pack for doing something dumb. It kind of talks about the options for that. If you do end up taking rites, we'll do rites soon. But yeah, the other big ones that people might not understand, kinfolk are either normal human beings or normal wolves that are carriers of the werewolf gene, but don't turn. So they're not affected by delirium, as in if they see someone in Krynos, or they see a vampire, or they see a monster, they're not going to flip the fuck out because they are aware of the supernatural world. They're also your family. So if you have kinfolk, and say you take, I don't know, say you take kinfolk at level 1, you have 2 kinfolk, one of your parents was a werewolf, maybe, and maybe your other parent would then be a kinfolk. They would be aware of it, and because they're aware of it and okay, they bred with another werewolf because they love them.
Or in my case, they're both werewolves.
Yeah, or you can be Alex and be a monstrosity.
I'll have you know.
That can go higher up with Lupus characters, where maybe you have like 5 or 10 kinfolk, and maybe your entire wolf pack is aware of what would be called the Great Wolves, which is what they perceive werewolves as being. Something more wolfy than they are, or some extra wolf in them.
Damn.
I like how you can, if you put all of your points in the kinfolk, it's 50.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally every single person you could possibly know.
Yeah, pretty much. Past life is you have a distinctive connection with one of your ancestors, and that can be as vague as every once in a while when you dream you have flashbacks from their life, to something as serious as like you've gone to the spirit world and you can commune with your past life for advice, like great grandfather, please help me, or some great hero of the tribe, please help me. Pure breed is in its utmost sense how well you carry yourself and how werewolfy you look. I guess. The description for it is like pure breed, 1 dot is you carry yourself pretty well. Like other, people, like, okay. 3 dots in pure breed is other werewolves will actively step aside to let you come forward. You're like a distinguished individual. And 5 dots in pure breed is like you look like some great hero from history, and everyone thinks you are him reborn.
Oh, I know where my points are going.
God damn it.
Well, that's all 5 of my points gone.
As a Metis, I do not know if you can take pure breed or not.
It doesn't say I can't. So.
You actually might be able to.
Literally what Jake is saying.
Yeah, it is it in the
It's
presentation
like
very
some
few
sort of
girl left in the world.
unsung hero.
This is being it doesn't say anywhere, especially here. It might say somewhere in the Metis section. So I'm going to require you to go look there first, Alex. But if it doesn't say anything, you can take pure breed.
Page 85, I think. Here it is. Okay.
The other things would be totem. Totem is totems are kind of weird. If you I would honestly stray away from totem because it needs to be something that the entirety of the pack needs to discuss, because it will be a kind of spirit that you guys embody. So like Grandfather Thunder is a spirit, is a Native American spirit, but he is seen as not only being a spirit of wisdom, but also of great strength. Coyote is another totem that you can have, as you guys are sly and opportunist and things like that. Owl is you guys are very serious but very deadly.
Bear.
Bear is you're very welcoming but also very protective and very strong. Things like that. So that I'm gonna say stay away from totem. It will come naturally as we progress the pack. Fetishes are the other thing that is kind of weird. It is not fetish as in the normal word for fetish. Fetishes...
Dick girls.
Fuck you.
A fetish is a physical object that has a spirit bound to it. Think of it like a magic artifact.
It's a fetish, but the older term.
Yes, not... I like...
Fetish.
Yeah.
Yif?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's straight up a strike.
It's more magic artifact and less
work with
yif
this.
yif. God damn it.
Oh, amazing.
By the way, Jake, if you'd like to, you can keep track of these strikes in the other Discord. If you
Oh, I have been. I have
have-
been. I've got a
I
pen
have
and pad in front
pictures
of
for
me.
that.
No. Like, if you just want to go in like one of our in our like chat channel and just give Alex a strike, I'm gonna be telling them at some point.
All right.
I'm currently.
If I recall, Alex is already on 2 strikes and decent right now.
So whenever that gets implemented, I'm going to tally up all the previous strikes.
No,
So if you
no,
want to
I
give
have,
them, they will be tallied at some point.
Nikki, you already counted my strikes. Don't I have like 25?
Oh, you have a lot, yeah.
You've got a lot of
Skill
strikes.
breakdown is 1395, right?
Yes.
And then you can put 5 points into your backgrounds, correct?
Yes, you have 5 points to spend amongst your backgrounds.
It doesn't say I can't, so
Okay, if it doesn't say you can't, go ahead. You
I'm
can
literally, like,
still be Metis. Like, it makes sense, because you could still be Metis, but you could still, carry yourself well. You could
like,
you
I
could be
was
like, I
born-
don't care that I'm Metis. Like,
Yeah,
fuck
it
it.
doesn't
I'm
matter.
still Guru. I'm still a warrior. I don't care. That is
If I was-
fine.
if I was born to like a Get of Fenris tribe,
Which you would have, because you're Metis.
then like it's all the better. They like view me. They're like, hey, he looks exactly like this hero of yore.
Yeah, it also very much, like I said, different tribes treat Metis characters very different. The Fianna, the Irish werewolves, the Celtic werewolves, they really treat them badly. Like actually horribly. They're treated like second... I'd say second-class citizens, but I'd even say third-class citizens. Like, they're...
You can't be werewolf Hitler if no one likes you.
Yeah, they're not respected, they're not anything. The Get of Fenris really only care about one thing, and that's strength. And if the bloke that has horns is a badass, they're only gonna really care that he's a badass. They're not gonna care that he's got horns. So, yeah.
So I got my edgy OC finished.
Oh, God. What did you put for backgrounds?
What
My,
did you do?
my
I want to see.
problem is madness. My deformity is
Oh!
Oh boy.
and it's
Your Metis deformity is gonna be madness, and you took 5 in pure breed?
Oh, I see where this is
Oh,
going.
fuck. Alright. If that's what you want to do, I would suggest looking over some of the other backgrounds, Alex. But if you want to do that, you can do that. I'm not gonna stop
the
you.
other backgrounds might as well not exist.
God damn it. Okay. How's Luke going? Children of Gaia. Wholesome Canuck.
Oh my god.
The only thing I would suggest, Luke, is maybe bumping up your performance 1 or 2 more, unless you want to use freebie points for that at the end.
I'm still thinking, so.
Okay, because you are a Galliard, so you are. It's kind
I'm
of your.
obliged to.
It's kind of not obliged to, but it is kind of your shtick. So you could not be a particularly vocal Galliard. You could be more of a historian Galliard if you want, but.
This would be at 9, just as it is.
Anyway.
What? Oh yeah, wait, I had a question. Oh yeah, what's primal urge? That's
Primal urge is animal instinct.
Okay.
As far as game mechanics go, when you want to shift forms, it's stamina plus primal urge.
I'm gonna be very good at that.
So there's also, I will say, there is also a merit later on that is hella expensive, but it's like 6 out of your 7 points. But it allows you to change forms freely at will. Like, you don't even have to make rolls. You can just do it automatically, like, whenever you want. Yeah. Instantly.
I think talent is going to end up being 13.
So.
1. Put 1 into there. I don't know, I'm learning firearms, so maybe I'll just be like a gun shoot.
Firearms.
I mean, hey, man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You're being a fucking werewolf cleric.
Yeah.
Who has the highest primal urge?
Oh yeah, what's enigmas?
Enigmas are okay. Enigmas can either
Alex's mind.
Enigmas can either be something particularly strange, supernatural, or it can be anything that goes against its specific norm. So, like, if someone does something that you're unsure if it would be like particularly strange to do in that situation, you could be like, hey, can I roll etiquette or like enigmas and maybe like see if this is like okay, or is he being like real sketchy? And I could be like, okay, sure, go ahead and roll. This one would be more etiquette, this one would be more enigma.
Okay.
Yeah, like enigmas. A good example for enigma would be for a Hamid character that like just changes and sees a Metis. An enigma roll could be rolled for you to be like, do all werewolves do weird shit like that, or is he different? You know, it would be something like that.
Okay.
Huh?
How is everyone doing with backgrounds? Are we...
Doing all right.
Okay.
I think I would just like
resources.
Strike evasion.
Pure breed. All right. What's Nikki got going for background?
Nikki.
Kinfolk. A Lupus with Kinfolk. Awesome. Pure breed contacts. Okay. I can't remember if Lupus can take contacts or not, Nikki. You should look that one up.
I can. I just can't take allies.
Oh, you can't take
You can
allies. That was
contacts,
the
but
one.
not allies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay, I think.
3 in fetish, 2 in rights. Right on.
Fucking
Typical Theurge. All right.
I will be the wolf warlock.
Yeah.
The wolf
So
lock.
so that fetish, you're gonna have a hefty artifact with you probably. You can either have a couple lower level fetishes, or you can have something that's particularly mean. Oof.
Alright, I'll see you guys later. I gotta go.
All right.
See you.
You're welcome to finish on Tuesday, Quinn. Like I said, I'll be going through probably the rest of this with Danielle as well. So.
Alright, cool.
Cool.
Alright, see you.
Can Danielle as well be your nickname?
Okay.
So what's the deal with backgrounds?
Backgrounds.
Do I just like write in, or is there like a list that I have to choose from?
There is a list, and your backgrounds are limited by your tribe.
Okay.
So I think I don't know what you
I have
want to
no
do.
restrictions apparently.
Okay, yeah.
I went with be wolves.
Yeah. So backgrounds starts on page 111.
Okay.
You have
There's
5.
2 players' guides.
You want not the copy of Player's Guide, you want just the core 2nd edition book.
Yes.
Are we doing anything with merits and flaws?
Yes, we will be.
Player's Guide to the Changing.
Could I get started on that, or are we like doing that?
Yeah. When you get to it, remind me what the default number for points is for merits and flaws. And
I gotta find it.
yeah, that merits and flaws are in the player's handbook, not the core book.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
Grab that book.
Do you know where it is in the player's handbook?
right at the beginning. But I usually do merits and flaws towards the end because when you're doing merits and flaws, it works just like any other merit and flaw system where flaws give you points and merits cost points. But the points that your flaws give you, you don't have to spend on merits. They count as extra freebie points that you can spend on other stuff.
Gotcha.
That's why I usually do them at the end with the freebie points, because then you can do your merits and flaws and then maybe have more than 15 freebie points.
Yeah.
Anku's just been doing this since forever, so he's going to be moving faster than a lot of other people.
Apparently learned to just burrow through the earth like a fucking mole.
Luke,
Wait.
for backgrounds, or did you find
You
it?
said page 111?
Yeah. That's what I'm on right now in the normal book.
I see you covering Cairn and Spirit Matters.
Okay. Are you in the character creation books folder in Werewolf?
I'm in the 2nd edition core folder. Character creation is where it should be.
It doesn't matter. The book's in either one. So you're in 2nd edition. You want the one that just says Werewolf the Apocalypse. You don't want the Player's Guide.
Okay. Download. Just open.
But your city boy internet. It'll take like 2 seconds.
It's true.
It's only like 300 pages. Okay.
Let's make a willpower roll. Oh man.
Oh, Luke, did you do your willpower, gnosis, and rage?
That comes from my Gaiard and my tribe.
Yeah, that comes from your breed, your tribe, and your auspice.
Start 4 page from this. 2 glory, 1 wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
Your Hamid, your gnosis will be 1 willpower. I think Children of Gaia have 3?
It's 4.
Is it
Just
4?
checked.
Okay.
Yeah. Hamid.
The radial dots at the top are permanent. So like when you level up your rage, you will gain a dot. The checkboxes are ones you currently have.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I can't have less than 0 in Gnosis. Like, it starts at 1, and Homid gives me 1, so I just...
Yeah. No.
I gotta add one.
You don't add 1.
Okay.
You just leave it at
Okay.
1. Yep.
Perfect. Damn, I got no honor. That's fucked up.
No honor yet.
Yeah. Okay, so, guess backgrounds. Is it done? Finally, yes. Page 11. These books are, like, 90s as fuck, by the way.
Yeah, they
Love
are.
it, TBH.
Second edition is it came out in the 90s.
It's wild how they look just like Deadlands, even though it's an entirely different and not at all like similar.
Yeah, their
looks like
90s
Deadlands.
is fine. There are 2 more editions of this series. I think 2 more, either 2 more or 1 more edition of this game after 2nd edition, because they changed it for the 20th anniversary. They redid all of the World of Darkness. They redid Mage. They redid Changeling. They redid Vampire. All of it. But I like 2nd edition more, so this is what I run, because this is also what I know, so.
Okay.
Puppy.
Okay. Where's all...
Come here, puppy.
Okay, yeah, backgrounds were 111, and you have 5 points to spend in total. You can split those 5
And
points.
there's like ranks. Okay,
Yeah,
I got
there's
it.
ranks of each one. You can just read through them, and they're pretty good explanations.
500 in cash. Holy shit. God damn.
Yeah. It's
True shit.
it's very much like that.
You freaks do it. Oh, what's the next step, boss?
Okay, the next step for you, Alex, would you don't. I don't think you took any rights, right?
That's a right.
That would have been a background.
Oh no.
Okay.
I mean, right.
Gifts,
We'll
renown,
move on
auspice.
to merits and flaws then.
Yeah, I would move on to either merits and flaws. If you haven't already altered your renown, your glory, honor, wisdom, I would go
Oh,
through
how do
and
I
look
do
at
that?
those.
I mean, I added the ones from my race and
Yep,
tribe.
yeah, as long as you, the renown comes from your, auspice.
Auspice. Oh yeah, okay, that's what it was.
So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. It's just filling in, those are just like your starting, what you have, ranks in those.
Is there any more that we get to choose, or is it just...
No, the renown will not, renown you get by feats you accomplish in-game, either through role-playing or through your actions.
So,
So yeah,
okay, go ahead.
they come naturally. What were you after, Nikki?
wait. So for the renowned, it says 3 in any combination. So I just put 3
Yep.
points.
You can pick, you can do 1, 1, and 1, you can do 2 and 1, you can do 3 all in 1, it doesn't matter. Ragabash gets the pick.
Okay. So what are the difference?
So be it.
Can you just quickly go over them for me then?
Okay, so when we play, you will gain experience points. Experience points are what you use to level up, like, your rage, or your gnosis, or your gifts, or your attributes. That is experience points in the sense it's like extra skill points. Renown is based off your actions and your role-playing, and that is how you advance yourself as far as, like, levels in society. So, like, becoming more and more elder and, like, respected. Each class, I can go and look. I believe I have a table with the renown chart. Yeah, I do. Each class has to achieve a certain rank in the 3 categories to advance to the next level. So, like, the first level would be like a cub. So, Nikki, you need any combination of 3. For you to advance to the next rank, you need any combination of 7 dots.
Okay.
However, Alex, he starts with 2 glory and 1 honor. For him to advance, he needs 5 glory, 3 honor, and 1 wisdom.
Ooh, wisdom? What the fuck do I need that for?
Yeah. But, like, Anku needs 0 glory, or would start with 0 glory, 0 honor, and 3 wisdom. For Anku to get to the next rank as being a better Theurge, or a more respected Theurge, he needs 5 wisdom, but only 1 glory, and no honor.
That's broken. You're cheating.
Like a Philodox, you need, like, honor. For Galliard, you need glory and wisdom. So Renown is basically how your character will level up in society. You don't necessarily get anything better for getting to rank 2, so going from a cub to a normal individual.
Gotcha.
It's more of a how people will respect you, and maybe people will be more inclined to listen to you if you are, say, an elder, or if you're a Athro, or a Dern, or Fostern, or Cleath. So,
Whatever that fucking means.
yeah, those are just the names for the ranks. Think of it as rank 1 being you're a wee bobby, you're a cub, and rank 5 being you're an elder, you lead a group of werewolves. So,
And what's the difference between glory, honor, and wisdom? Or
glory is anything glorious. It's, having a great victory in combat, or
Bathing in your enemy's blood.
yeah, something like that. Honor is, I don't know, if you run up and bite someone in the back of the neck when they're not paying attention, that's not really seen as being particularly honorable, is it? Turning your back on a deal that you made with someone, like outright just being like, no, going against your word, that's going to lower your honor.
Lower my honor.
Wisdom is it's lessons you've learned, doing something wise, doing something smart, acting on knowledge that you've learned, like showing that you've learned from a previous situation.
Why?
While these can be increased through roleplay and actions, I can take them away.
Gotcha.
And I will. And particularly if the Philodox is doing their job and you start to do shit that is not representative of the clan or the tribe or of your pack. If you're going against the wishes of the pack and Danielle does a rite of punishment on you, depending on how bad you offended the pack, you will lose a lot of those stats. The way that this works is each dot is a permanent dot that you will always have. The boxes, you'll gain temporary points of glory. So, like, maybe Alex does something particularly cool in combat. I'll be like, hey, Alex, give yourself 2 temporary points of glory. That was badass. When you hit 10, you do a ritual and a rite with someone who knows it, and then those 10 turn into 1 permanent dot.
Gotcha.
So, and depending on how much of a cunt you're being, I can take away permanent dots or I can take away temporary dots. It will depend on how bad or good you are
How
being.
inglorious or unhonorable or
Yes.
foolish you're acting.
Yes, which is kind of a pretty hefty incentive for you guys to do some good role-playing while we're doing this and playing this. Hell, if we could stay in character for the entirety of the sessions, it would be fantastic. It's not going to happen, Muppets, but, but that's the idea. That's how the game system encourages everyone to be on task, I guess. Don't worry about it. If we get going on some tyrant, I'm not going to start docking XP because I'm just as guilty as starting some rant about something not pertaining to the game. So, yeah. Is everyone done with backgrounds? Or is Luke and is kind of just blazing through it behind us playing catch-up? I think we're good, right?
Wait,
Yeah.
we've done backgrounds? I thought we were on something else.
Okay.
Oh.
Merits and flaws are in the other book. They are in the book that actually says Player's Guide.
Fuck me.
Second
That was
edition.
another book.
I forget how many...
Oh, good. You can copy and paste this one. Thank God.
Yeah, you can on this one. I forget how many points it lets you start with as your limit for merits and flaws. I want to say it's 7. I think.
So you can have at most 7 points in flaws.
Yes.
Merits.
And have it actually count. If you want to take more, go ahead and take more. By all means. In any gaming system that has a merit and flaw system, if you want to take more flaws that you can roleplay and not care about the points, go right ahead. That means you're fleshing out your character more. I'm not going to punish you for that. I will, by playing out your flaws and stuff like that, you will get rewarded. I will give you, an XP here, an XP there for really, sticking to your guns and playing the person that you made. If you give me a second, I need to go look for my hard copy of my player's handbook, because I only have my main book in front of me on my desk.
Oh.
Oh, shit. Does she have it?
That's not a good sound.
Where merits and flaws am I supposed to
God
find?
damn it, it's not on my shelf. Okay. Probably means
That's not
Heather
a
has
good
it. That's
sound.
fine. Okay.
Sorry, it disappeared.
Okay. From...
Oh my God, there's so many to go through.
So wait, merits and flaws are like a bonus thing
Oh,
that's not even
no.
in the first book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I finished my back rolls.
Okay, so then your... what did you take? Hold on, let me see. Mentor. Ooh, okay. You're a Children of Gaia? Yeah, you are. Okay, I already have a character that I know is going to be fine for you.
Perfect.
Context, resources, kinfolk. Okay, so you do not have any rights to do, Luke, so you can move on to merits and flaws. Merits and flaws are in the book that says Player's Handbook.
Got it.
Yes.
You know how you said you can choose like a specialization when you have more than 4 in a category?
Uh-huh.
One, does that apply to categories after we do the freebies?
Yes.
Wait, is it 4? Is it
Okay.
4 or more?
It's 4 or more.
Got it.
That does not count for things like background. That's...
Yeah.
Right, it's just abilities and attributes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay. But that counts after freebies as well.
Yes. If you bump something over 4 using freebie points, you still got a specialization in it.
Cool.
Later-
I was basically asking that because I have 4 in subterfuge, so I was wondering if I should do that
later
now or
on
wait until
through
after I do
like
freebies.
through gameplay, if you bump something over 4 with experience points, at that time you will get to pick a specialization.
Gotcha. Okay.
Luke, merits and flaws work the same. They work in everything.
Okay.
You only have 7 points that
Okay.
actually count. Same concept. If you want to take more flaws, by all means, take more flaws.
Gotcha.
The points that you earn from flaws, you do not have to spend on merits. They also they work the same way that the freebie points work at the end. So if you say spend all 7 points on flaws, instead of having 15 freebie points, you will have 22.
Okay.
Those
And
points...
the freebie points just go to like anything? Like
Yeah, the freebie points is pretty much at the end of character creation. They just give you 15 XP
okay.
to just like level stuff up at the beginning.
So what can we use that on? Like
Why is the second
freebie
skills and
points-
attributes, presumably.
Yeah, freebie points can be used on attributes, abilities, backgrounds, extra
Okay.
gifts, rage,
Okay.
gnosis, or willpower.
Okay.
The
Great.
So how do we determine, like it says the merits? It's like a number of points.
Mhm.
How do we determine what it costs or what we can spend to get them?
let me get down to it. Okay, so for merits,
I read it.
like
yeah.
1 point merit.
Yeah, what are the
Taking it.
points that
Okay.
you're spending to get that?
So it's the same way any edge and flaw system works. Flaws give you points. So when you take a flaw, you gain a point. When you take a merit, you lose a point.
Got it.
The maximum you can have is 7. So you can take 7 points worth of flaws, and those 7 points can either go into your freebie point pool or can be spent on merits. However, the freebie point pool, those other 15, cannot be spent on merits. The only way you can get merits is through the 7 points. Got it?
All right.
So,
Yep.
yeah, so the points from merit and flaws can go to freebie. Freebie cannot go to merit and flaws. It's a one-way street.
Okay, so can I take
Gotcha.
7 points worth of flaws right now?
Yeah.
And then do my freebie stuff, and then come back to this and use the remainder
No.
if it's under 7.
If it's under 7, yes. Yeah,
Okay,
if it is
merits.
if it is under 7, that would be because those would be the 7 left from your merits or from your flaws, not from the actual freebie pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just want to give myself as many points as possible, spend
Yeah,
them, and then
exactly.
use the remainder.
Exactly.
I like the fucking examples it gives for dislikes that are too particular.
Yeah.
It has brewing cream filled donuts and mechanical pencils.
Yes.
I fucking hate mechanical pencils.
Some of the merits are really fucking good. Like, I would not just be like, oh, more freebie points. Metamorph, that's the one that lets you just ignore any roll to change forms. It happens instantly, like you spent a point of rage on it, just for free. You just can do it whenever you want. Another really good one is Jack of all trades, which is if you you automatically have 1 dot in all skill or knowledge dice pools, no matter what. Like, for free.
Oh,
Yeah, like, because normally it's you take a... if you are trying to do something untrained, you roll just the base attribute and the difficulty increases by 2. But if you've got Jack of all trades, you count as having 1 die, so you get an extra die, and you still get to keep your normal target number. So, yeah. Like I said, there's some really good ones. There's also some really shitty merits or some really shitty flaws that will fuck you up. Like, slip sideways. The way you go into the spirit world is by looking at something reflective. Slip sideways means if you're around things that are reflective, you can slip into the spirit world without realizing it.
okay, that's actually pretty great.
Just all the time. Like, you could be like, oh, look, that's a pretty fountain. And like, boom. God damn it. Like, just completely subconsciously. Like, you'll get to roll to resist it, but it's just a problem you have to deal with all the time. So there can be there can be some interesting ones. Yeah. There's also, very minimal on both of those. It's pretty good as far as giving you guys options. Edit. This is Alex's. Alex, did you ever get that note that I made for you?
Yeah, I got a mysterious note. I can edit it.
Okay.
I can't put pictures in it unless I make a picture on my computer. So I'm lazy. So that's not gonna happen.